Okay, everybody, not here from godlikeproductions.com. Here I am on my thread. I have some really amazing shit to share with you guys. Okay, whoever watches. Okay, so a movie came out on 3/8. It premiered, and then 3/28 was its theatrical or more official release. And it's called Death of a Unicorn. And it's about the Pope's death. So a unicorn is like a pope because it's unique. To become a pope is legendary. It's extremely special, almost mythical, magical in a way. So death equals 38. Death of a Unicorn came out on 3/8. The Pope's birthday, 12/17, reduces to 3/8. For now, I'm going to skip all the time measurements, but I will go to... Okay. In the beginning scene, the main characters are driving through a nature preserve and they hit a unicorn. Their names, Ridley equals 73 and Elliot equals 73. 7 times 3 equals 21, and 73 is the 21st prime number. The two movies that have predictive programming about the Pope's death that I know of, this movie and Conclave. From Conclave's release date to 3/28, Death of a Unicorn, is 210 days. And in the movie it was 2:01 when they were driving. I don't know if it was 2:01 when they hit the unicorn, but it was 2:01 when it showed like a minute before when they were driving. There are two times shown later in the movie, 8:24 and 11:45, and that's 201 minutes between them. Okay. The last name Kintner is interesting. The internet says it means someone with an ecclesiastical position in cantor, which means a musical director in a church or something of the like. Someone with a high skill for a family who has skills in enchantment and singing. Minstrels and bards might have been called Kintner or cantor. So the dad, Elliot, he introduces himself as Elliot Kintner, JD, because he's a Juris Doctor and he's a lawyer and has his Juris Doctorate or whatever the heck that is. But supposedly it means lawyer. And J.D. Vance is a lawyer also. He is a Juris Doctor. And as you know from my previous videos, what I think about J.D. Vance, well, I think he's awesome, but that's my personal opinion. But in terms of what the numbers I believe are telling us is that, he has a deep intertwined connection with this whole Pope replacement process here happening now. Okay, so JD, Elliot Kintner, in the movie, he's the one who kills the unicorn. And he hits it with his car. That barely kills it. Then the daughter goes and is all sad and is holding on to... She goes and grabs the horn because it kind of like attracts her. And so she takes a hold of it, and it puts her in this trance state where she's getting a glimpse of her divinity, which is kind of what happens when you take a psychedelic and you lose your ego and you see nature for what it really is, infinite, eternal, and You get a glimpse. She was getting a glimpse of the holographic matrix behind the scenes. So supposedly, I guess she was having a seizure, so that's why her dad came up to the unicorn and bashed the unicorn's head in with a golf club, effectively killing it that time. This unicorn didn't stay dead. It resurrects itself because it's magical and does not stay dead. And this is exactly like the papacy. The Pope does not stay dead. It's resurrected, and there's a new Pope is chosen, and the role continues immortally. And it's also more deeply intertwined with this symbolism because the Pope represents the power of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ he died and was resurrected. And just like the unicorn was the bridge to Ridley's divinity in the movie, the Pope is our bridge, symbolic bridge to our divinity through Jesus. Okay. Golf club equals 308. That's what he used to kill the unicorn, and the movie was released on 3/8, and 3/8 is what death equals in simple gematria. So here is a really big thing from the movie. This part really got me. Okay, so the license plate of their car is PXV237, as you can see right here. Pope Francis equals 732. PXV237 was the license plate. Pope Francis equals 732. PX is the Chi Rho. The Chi Rho is the symbol of the Vatican, or the papacy. It's what Constantine saw in his vision in 312. That's it. And after that, he became emperor, and I don't know, creation of the Vatican happened or something. I don't know. The legitimizing of the Vatican happened. And so that is the symbol of Jesus Christ it represents. Okay. And PXV is the license plate. Another word associated with popes and saints is PAX. PAX means peace. It's on the St. Benedict seal at the top. So you could see that as PXA, which could be reversed around to make Pax as peace, meaning rest in peace, Pope Francis. Or you could also see it as PX, the Chi Rho, which means Jesus Christ, and V, which means vicar, the vicar of Jesus Christ. That's what they call the Pope. They call the Pope the vicar of Jesus Christ. There we have a V and a PX. The PX represents Jesus Christ through the Chi Rho, and the V represents vicar, the vicar of Jesus Christ, and there's Pope Francis's value, English gematria value. That shit is just undeniable. Okay. Now PXV equals 372 and 62 in English and simple gematria. Two times 3 times 7 is 42. Francis is 420. Elliot, the guy who drove the car and killed the unicorn, is 204, Hebrew. So to calculate the license plate, this is what I do. I take the value of the letters and I multiply the numbers together. So 2 times 3 times 7 is 42, and then I do that times the value of the letters. That comes to 2604. That's the date of Pope Francis's funeral. And that's exactly how they write it in Rome. They write it 26/4. Crazy shit, man. Alright. Now if you multiply 372 by 237, you get 88,164. 88 is the age of the Pope at his death, and 164 is the value of both of their full names, Elliot Kintner and Ridley Kintner. Now, their Hebrew Gematria values of their full names are Elliot Kintner 488, Ridley Kintner 802. 802 is J.D. Vance's birthday, 82. So from his original birthday, 8284 to 421, the Pope's death, is 488 months. There you have both of the values, 82 and 488, of the mom, or the dad and the daughter, from J.D. Vance's birthday to the Pope's death. And remember, Elliot Kintner referred to himself as J.D., which is exactly what J.D. Vance is, a Juris Doctor. Now remember, from my previous video, 421 is the 82nd prime number. And remember, 82 is J.D. Vance's birthday, and 421 is the Pope's death day. Now, from J.D. Vance's birthday to December 17th, the Pope's birthday is 4 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day. I don't think this could be any more clear that this is undeniably orchestrated synchronicity. There's natural organic synchronicity, then there's orchestrated synchronicity. This is obviously orchestrated here. JD knew what was going to happen to the Pope. That's why he got that photo op. There was a lot of criticism upon J.D. Vance for trying to get that photo op with the Pope. People were wondering, why did he need this photo op with this ill Pope? Well, there's a reason. He wanted to make a statement. Whether he killed him or not, he definitely knew he was going to die. The elite don't allow people in such power to die by chance. They want full control, so they're going to implement the chaos so that they can control the chaos. They're not going to leave the chaos up to God, because they don't want God to have a say in the matter, although inevitably God controls all. So really, they only have a limited degree of power here, and their power is illusory. But anyway, most people who are famous and have worldly power are fed to the beast. They're sacrificed according to the forbidden occult sciences of the fallen angels given to man, passed down through Illuminati bloodlines and all that. And those people use those occult fallen angel sciences to maintain worldly power. And part of that science is their numerology and astrology, and they use these occult sciences to determine who dies and when. It's not an exact science, though. Part of being the magician of the elite is blending intuition and logic. Like, you can't just calculate someone's death like to the letter. You have to blend a certain degree of intuition into the mix. Real magic is it arises out of the harmonious fusion between logic and intuition. Okay. So the license plate spelled out is 241. There you have 421 again. And remember, the Pope was hospitalized on 214. In Hebrew, the license plate spelled out is 3148. And that reduces to 88. And 31 times 48 is 1488. And there's that 488 again, just like the value of Elliot Kintner. 3 times 148 is 444. And in the decode of the last video, I show you the many appearances of the 444 in relation to the measurement of time in the papacy and J.D. Vance's connections to the papacy. The wildlife nature preserve they went through when they hit the unicorn is called the Leopold Wildlife Preserve, 267. Now that Pope Francis is dead, they are going to implement, or put into place, whatever, the 267th Pope. Death of a Pope is 672. And remember, this movie is called Death of a Unicorn. So the release date 3/8 was the 67th day of the year. The butler's name in the movie for the rich people is Griff 276. The doctor who worked on the corpse of the unicorn, extracting medicine from it, is Dr. Song, and that's 462. That's the date of the Pope's funeral. 26/4 backwards. 462. And Dr. Song is the one who works on the unicorn's corpse, and 26/4 is the date of the Pope's funeral, which is symbolic connection of working on a body, what they do with the body after death, the funeral. The name of the rich guy that Elliot was going to meet up with, this rich family who he got a job with, is Odell Leopold, which is 308 and 762. 308, again, golf club and death and the release date. And 762. The 267 backwards. So the daughter Ridley was looking up, researching online stuff about unicorns. She was researching a real life thing called the unicorn tapestries, which so she was researching this time period, 1495 to 1505. When I looked up Kintner, I saw a guy they mentioned who was from the year 1498. So I thought that was interesting. And then I started researching that time frame more, and then I found out this Pope was in power from 1492 to 1503. This guy was a very corrupt Pope. He did a lot of things in his papacy to empower his family, the bourgeois, and that's where the phrase came from. People refer to the bourgeois as being, I'm not sure, like, what really lustful for power and indulgent, I don't know, but that's where the phrase came from, is that Pope, Alexander VI. The second time shown in the movie was 1145, and 11 times 45 is 495, just like the year they showed her researching. The first time shown in the movie was 824. 8 times 24 equals 192, and again, that's my main number. That's the mineral kingdom. That's the real hell, according to Samuel Aun Weor and Gurdjieff. The Pope's birthday, December 17th, comes to 192. J.D. Vance's birth date, 8/2/1984, reduces to 824, just like the time they showed in the movie. And the last name of the main character is Kintner, equals 284 in Hebrew, I think. So Pope Alexander was Pope for 11 years and 1 day. Pope Francis died on the 111th day. Pope Francis was born on the 351st day of the year. Pope Alexander died in 1503. Pope Alexander VI equals 1002. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201. The PXV from the license plate equals 62 in simple gematria. From 3/8 release date to 4/21, Pope's death is 6 weeks, 2 days. Conclave premiered 8/30. Death of a Unicorn premiered 3/8. From 1495 to 2025 is 530 years. Death of a Pope equals 350. From the death of Alexander VI to 2025, 1503 to 2025 is 522 years. 2025 backwards. Alexander VI's full name, not going to try to pronounce it, is 1230. Pope's age spelled out equals 12:3. Well, J.D. Vance, he was born in 84. Okay. The release date, the second release date of Death of a Unicorn, 3/28. 3 times 28 equals 84. And the Pope's death day, 4/21. 4 times 21 equals 84. From 3/28 to 4/21 is 3 weeks, 3 days. There's that 33. From 3/8 to 4/21, from the first release date to 4/21 is 44 days. And from the day the Pope became Pope, I got this wrong in my previous video. From the day the Pope became Pope, which was 3/13/2013, to the day he died is 4,422 days. And when he died, he was 88 years, 4 months, and 4 days old. So there we have the amount of time he was Pope, 4422, and the amount of time he was alive, 8844. Pretty crazy stuff. But that's stuff about the license plate and the unicorn death. I don't know. All that should show you. Well, that's it for now. Seek clarity with love.